Hey everyone, my name is Glenn and today we're going to be talking to you a little bit about the Egyptian moon god Khonsu. So in the Marvel Comics, the Fist of Khonshu is a title given to character Mark Spector, played by the actor Oscar Isaac in the Disney Plus series Moon Knight. Khonshu and Mark's alter ego Moon Knight first appear in the comic Werewolf by Night issue 32. So after deciding to take over Earth in order to protect it, Khonshu compels Moon Knight to acquire power for him. So Moon Knight goes along and does that, and with his enhanced abilities and insights, Mark is now convinced that Khonshu's plan is the only way to save Earth from Demon Lord Mephisto and the main antagonist of the Disney Plus series, the deity Ammit, who is Arthur Harrow, also played by the one and only Ethan Hawke. Once left for dead, Mark Spector was actually revived by the moon god Khonshu. Khonshu draws inspiration and shares many similarities to the Egyptian god Khonsu. Same name, but different spelling. So what is Khonshu really like? What are his special abilities and what is he like as a god? Well, let's jump right into it. But before you do, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and comment down below anything that you would like us to cover next. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel before I send Moon Knight after you. Go ahead, go do it now. Though commonly known as Khonsu, Marvel's Khonshu is just a less common spelling of the Egyptian moon god's name. As mentioned before, the two share many similarities, but what are they? What are these notable similarities, you ask? Let me tell you. Physicality-wise, they both have crescent moons on their head and are often depicted as having a falcon's head. Aside from that, Moon Knight does don linen wraps, which is a nod to the ancient Egyptian mummification process. Khonsu the moon god was the child of Amen and Mat, and like his parents, he was worshipped as Thebes and is part of the large temple of Karnak. As the moon god, Khonsu was the embodiment of the crescent moon's light. During the new moon, it was considered that Khonsu was a force to be reckoned with, but during the full moon, that's when Khonsu was the weakest. It was thought that Khonsu could influence the fertility of people and their livestock, and in one myth, recorded on the walls of the Ptolemaic temple of Khonsu, even gave him prominent role in the creation of the universe. Khonsu, aka Khons, was generally depicted as a youth in ancient Egyptian religion. And Khonsu's name is derived from the word Khens, which means to cross or to travel, and this reflects the moon's journey throughout the night sky. And I think that is the most prettiest, most poetic name ever. Khonsu was not only worshipped for being the moon god, but also the god of love and fertility in the New Kingdom of Egypt. It is common for most civilizations to link moon with fertility because it is believed that the moon is associated with menstrual cycles. Khonsu in Egyptian mythology has healing and restorative powers, just like Khonshu in the Moon Knight series. Khonsu was referred to be the god of healing, as recorded in the story The Princess of Bactin. In this story, Khonsu healed the pharaoh Ptolemy IV and is believed to be able to extend his powers to regular people just like you and me. And as a result of that, many Egyptians were named after him. And now let's get into some storytelling. In the late 2nd millennium before the Common Era, Egypt waged war with the Hittite Empire. The conflict was finally ended in 1256 BCE with the marriage of Ramses and the second daughter of the Hittite ruler, the king of Hatti. Ramses bestowed upon his new wife the name Neferure. After the wedding between Ramses and Neferure, a messenger came bearing bad news that Neferure's sister was seriously ill. The pharaoh then sent the top physicians and magicians to try to figure out what this illness was, but they failed to get a diagnosis. The pharaoh then dispatched a doctor of his own, and the doctor declared after 3 years that the princess was possessed by evil spirits and only a god could save her. Ramses then consulted the priest at the shrine of Khonsu in Thebes. The priest prayed to the statue of Khonsu, and the statue nodded. Its head moved up and down in a motion as a sign that he agreed to cure the princess. So after traveling over 17 months, wow, that is a long time, the statue finally arrived at the Hittite Empire and cured Benthrash. Benthrash's father was so impressed by the statue's power that he refused to let it go and made a shrine for it in their kingdom. The king of Hatti had the statue for 4 years until one night the king dreamt of a prophecy. In his dream, the statue of Khonsu rose from its shrine in the form of a golden falcon and attacked the king before flying into the night sky, heading back to Egypt. The king was awoken by the dream and realized his mistakes for keeping the statue, and he immediately sent it back to Thebes along with a huge tribute. Now tying it back to Marvel's Moon Knight, Khonshu does display this power of healing through the suit that Mark wears as Moon Knight. We have yet to see what other feats Khonshu possesses, but I am so excited to find out, and let me know what you are excited to see down below. Aside from Khonsu's powers and abilities, Khonsu also has a dark side. Ooh! During the Old Kingdom of Egyptian history, he was considered a violent and dangerous god. He appears in the Cannibal Hymn as a bloodthirsty deity who helps the deceased king catch and eat other gods. And on Khonsu's coffin inscription, it describes him as Khonsu who lives on hearts. Now let me read you the excerpt from the Cannibal Hymn, passage 3, that also appears on the coffin inscription as spell 573 reads. Unas is he who eats men, who feeds on gods. It is Khonsu, slayer of lords, who cuts their throats for Unas, who tears their entrails out for him. Unas eats their magic, he swallows their spirits. The big one for his morning meal, the middle ones for his evening meal, and the little ones for his night meal. We also see a similar depiction of Khonsu's dark side in Marvel's Moon Knight. Stephen Grant, who we meet in the first episode, struggles with his alters Mark Spector and Jake Lockley. The two are definitely more violent than Stephen is and is more open to doing Khonshu's bidding when it comes to hurting people. Khonshu orders Mark without a second of thought to hurt anyone who stands in their way. In episode 2, Khonshu does order Stephen to kill Harrow and break his windpipe. And in episode 3, Khonshu forces Mark to threaten a kid by hanging him off a cliff. Now, everybody's got a dark side. I totally understand that, because I do too, surprisingly. But this does show that Marvel's Khonshu and the real-life deity Khonsu have a lot in common. I guess you can say that Khonshu draws more from the darker side of Khonsu than the gentle healer that he later became known as. As for Khonshu, the verdict is still out on whether we will see this softer, gentle healer, and if the character will be the hero or the villain of the story. In the next video, we will be touching on Amit, so do let me know if you have any questions regarding this deity Amit or Arthur Harrow down in the comments down below. And for the first time signing out, it's been a great time traveling around ancient Egypt and the MCU. I'm Gwen. See you guys next time. Excelsior!